Okay, so let me play some rapid fire questions before you. These questions may look some weird, but don't worry. These are merely questions and are quite necessary to ask in order to understand the entire episode. So question number 1 is whether you are required to file your income tax return and pay income tax if your taxable income in a financial year exceed a specified limit, let's say rupees 2.5 lakhs. Answer is yes. Question number 2. What if you die in the middle of the year? I will not answer this question here. Next, question number 3. Whether you are required to settle your income tax dues even after your death? If yes, then how? Can you guess the answer? Don't look at me. I don't know. Okay, don't worry. But before we jump into this video, a very quick disclaimer for you. This video is just for knowledge and fun and is based on the factual analysis and facts available in the public domain. So whatever you see and listen here in this video is purely based on the factual analysis available publicly on the internet or any other social public media whatsoever. And it should not any way be considered as a professional advice or an opinion or a view. And neither this is a political rant, since I am not a political person. I am actually backing up the things by giving you some actual palpable facts that I hope you would understand and appreciate and would not take it as a political discussion. So in this video, effectively we are going to get the answers of two questions. Question number 1. Whether as a citizen of India are we getting adequate returns in terms of social benefits and services on the income tax which we pay to our government. Question number 2. Are we liable to pay income tax even after your death and file income tax return? So before we start this video, please press like and subscribe button. This enables me to know that you like such type of content and makes me super happy. So let's get started now. We know that the various governments across the world levy taxes on the incomes of their citizens, and in India this income tax is levied by the government of India, that is our central government. So effectively income tax department in India is the income tax collector of India, empowered to do so by our central government. You would not be surprised to know that we are all made to pay taxes till we die, and it would not be wrong to say again that the income tax department would not forget us to change even till heaven in order to settle its tax dues. So it is not going to leave us even after death. Now how this statement sounds to you looks quite weird, right? Now you would say, hey Abhishek, why this madness? When the willful tax defaulters fled to tax haven countries are not yet traceable by the government, how they can look for a person who has left for its heavenly abode permanently? Well, tax and death are certain things, and the answer to your question lies in section 159 of the Income Tax Act 1961. Now you must know how the various governments across the world plan to keep their citizens perennially poor. That's it. That's what they are trying to do. And we as a citizen of India must care about is that we have a right to know, are we getting adequate services in context to the taxes which we pay to our government? The short answer is no. And you will see in this video, despite paying so much of taxes to the government, we do not end up getting the level of services which we deserve. So as a rational Indian, please do like, subscribe, comment on this video so that it gets some traction. Hopefully it brings at least 1% change in our country and improve the quality of life which we currently live in. Here is a chart for you that categorically shows you how the debt in the world is going up decade by decade. There has been no single decade when the world's debt has come down. So point number 1, do you think this is a worrisome sign? The answer is yes, this is a very worrisome sign, because the burden to repay the debt of the country is eventually on the citizens of the country. Now you would say, hey Abhishek, that has been taken by the government, not us. Then how we are liable to pay the debt taken by the government? So you will get the answer shortly through this video soon. Point number 2, will the government in the world repay these debts at some stage or juncture? The answer is yes. Now do you think the governments will actually repay this debt? Now essentially there are two ways in which they can repay these debts. First, you know what, government cannot magically become very efficient. They will figure out the ways to make more money and they will pay off the debt they have taken. Seems to be a far-fetched dream. So this brings them to the second option, which is that government will repay these debts by increasing more and more taxes, and this tax will be borne by the citizens of the country. Here is another chart for you that shows highest effective income tax rate that we Indians are paying. Back in 2014, the highest effective tax rate was 33.99%. In 2016-2018, this grew up to 35%. Now in 2021, our highest effective tax rate is close to 43%. I repeat again, our highest effective tax rate is 43%. That is our personal tax rate. Now the worrisome sign is that this trend line has been going up and up and up. Now by the time we hit 2040 and 2050, what do you think the tax rate would be? Would it come down? I don't think so. Now you would say, hey Abhishek, you know what, in India there is so much of problem and the government needs money. Therefore they are charging the rich people high taxes. What's wrong with that? In fact, if you look at the countries like Canada, Nordic countries, the tax rate is like 50%. So what's wrong with charging 43%? Now here is a very important history lesson for you that helps you understand why the governments were created in first place. Now the concept of governance is somewhat derived from the social contract theory by Thomas Hobbes. Now let me give you the high level details of this theory. So the theory goes something like this. Thomas Hobbes says that, you know what, if the government were not there in place, there would be a jungle raj, right? Like what is happening in Afghanistan now. People will be fighting with each other. People would have a brutal short life. They will kill each other if there are no laws, society's governance. Therefore, it was very much important for all the citizens to come together, pass on a part of their freedom to a higher sovereign authority called as government. You would have to pay some taxes for all the protection laws, etc. that the government is engaging in for you, especially around like common pool of things. For example, if the roads are not well, people cannot move from point X to point Y. Therefore, the government would collect taxes to build the road. So these countries charge high rates of taxes from their citizens, no doubt about that. But the return on taxes in terms of the facilities their citizens are getting also very high. Majority of these countries offer aspects like free healthcare, they offer very strong social security services and bunch of different things, be it like everyday living, clean water, utility services. So all these are top notch, and that somewhat justifies the high rates of taxes that these countries are charging. This argument sounds great in theory and probably why the democracies were created. But unfortunately, many of these democracies have turned into kleptocracies. Now Greeks are very funny people. Now they gave a very rational word to defunct a democracy, so to say, and they call them kleptocracy. Kleptocracy essentially means that these are the governments that actually pilferage resources of their countries, so the people in the government become richer and richer day by day, leaving almost nothing for the common citizens of the country. That is what a kleptocratic society looks like. You might have heard about the Zimbabwean president Robert Mugabe. He literally destroyed the entire country because of his thievery. So that is what some countries have become. Now we are talking about Zimbabwe, which is on the extreme right hand side of the equation, that there was a blatant president who literally abused all its power to steal from his own country. Now in India, we are not in extreme situation yet. Now let me ask you a counter question here, and it is very logical to ask, have you defunct on a loan of rupees 1000 ever in your life? I have not. If I have taken loan of rupees 1000 from a bank and I don't repay this loan, the bank people will call me, they will eat my head, file so many cases against me if I don't repay such loan that my head will spin. Now in India, if a common villager do not repay its loan, bank people will come, they will pick up his buffalo and take it away and sell it, and somehow they will recoup their money. And here we have Vijay Mallya, Nirav Modi, who have taken crores of rupees and have run away to different exotic locations, and our government is unable to bring them back. These are actually telltale signs of kleptocratic democracy. Alright, so this brings us to the next section of the discussion. What is that we can do as a common citizen? So first and foremost thing, what you can do is, you can like, support and share such videos with your friends and relatives. That is the first and most basic thing you can do. Point number 2, you should not be a crybaby, rather you should be a try baby. You should not shed tears and not to give up on the entire system. The more noise you make, the more talk you make about this stuff, the more people you would educate. So make some noise if you observe some extravagance at government side, or any bad decision, or any pilferage of resources, or bad public services, or you see any corruption. Write articles on LinkedIn, on your blog, shoot some YouTube videos, put it up and ask question to your government. Hopefully it will bring little change that will add some positive value in our lives. Number 3, you should earn more. This sounds counterintuitive because you might say, hey Abhishek, if we earn more, we have to pay more and more taxes. Well, I have already told you, tax and death are certain things. We would have to pay more and more taxes. There is nothing can be done. But if you are super rich and financially educated, you can save a lot of money in terms of finding out legal tax loopholes. Now I will not get into the discussion of how. You can legally save taxes if you are rich in India. And if you are super rich, then you would have to pay relatively less taxes. Because there are many legal tax loopholes available for you. I repeat, legal, not illegal. So you can do tax planning accordingly, and if you are not much financially educated on tax matter, then you can take advice of a tax consultant or a chartered accountant. So try to move into that kind of income bracket. That is very much important for you. If you give up on the fight and just assume this your fate, that you are going to stay a common middle class person always, then guess what? You and your future generations will continue to pay highest ever of taxes than there is to be paid. These are harsh realities. So get financially educated, try to get into higher income bucket class, make some noise when certain bad decisions are taken, and take a stand on such things and support such videos. Now this brings us to the second part of the video, that is an attempt to find out the answers of second question. Are we liable to pay income tax after death? This point I have covered in my next video. Please do search it on this channel and press like and subscribe button before you get it. This will encourage me to shoot more and more such video and make me super happy. Thank you for watching.